Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Coach Jason here. Hope you're doing well. Today I'm gonna go over a 24 to 26 week cycle, and I'm gonna do it twice. So let's say a calendar year. I'm gonna break it into two components of 26 weeks each, so that if you're going for two major peaks, let's say you want to run a marathon twice or a marathon this half of the year and focus on shorter stuff that part of the year, whatever you want to do, or vice versa, you can do that. But I want to show you how I kind of break down the training. And how you transition into the next cycle, the next phase of the training to let you progress and progress and progress so that you're hitting your goal race while you're still on the upswing, okay? Not when you're in the downswing. Because the last thing you want to do is kind of run your best little peak too early, 5 or 6 weeks and so on and so forth. That's why breaking it down into cycles and having a focus per cycle and, kind of transitioning things every so often helps you accomplish that. You're not doing too much of something. You're not doing too little of something, okay? And it's important, particularly, if you want to continue, running well and progressing. You're setting yourself up for long-term success here. So, and that's the key to this video, okay? So I'm going to go, and this is whether you're training for the middle distance races or a marathon or a half marathon, doesn't matter, okay? This usually gives you some insight in terms of how I break it down. Let's say whether it's 2 marathon or whether you're in school and you're peaking cross country and then you want to peak in spring track. Doesn't mean you don't race and things like that during winter track, but you'll notice a lot of the very best programs kind of have 2 major peaks a year, even though they'll do some fast running at the indoor season. That's kind of the way it's set up, particularly when a lot of the athletes, not a lot, but the very, very best are kind of competing into the summer. So this is a way of kind of just setting yourself up for 2 major peaks. I'm happy to do a video on 3 if you want me to, so put that in the description down below, in the comments, if you want me to do that. But let's move over here. I'm going to show you how I break it down, okay? Get you here. Okay. Now, again, building a season and building a year out, okay? In 2 cycles, I have 26 weeks, okay? Let's just say the base phase. Let's say to this side, for instance. The base phase is 10 weeks, okay? Gives you an opportunity to build the mileage up after taking a 2-week down cycle for recovery and rebuilding. You're gradually building back to full volume. That's what this is, okay? So you're building the mileage out, building the runs out, getting yourself back, to full volume after recovering. And it also depends on what you just raced. If you ran a marathon, it's going to be more than a 2-week recovery period. Okay, if you're running a 5K or 10K, it will take a 2-week recovery, but it'll still take a few weeks to kind of get back into the groove either way. But marathons just take longer to recover from in general, so because it's such a long race. But so you're building the mileage back out. You're focusing on speed development. I'm a firm believer of speed development all year round, and that's whether it's hill sprints, short hill sprints, short sprints on the flat, whatever it is, and then building up your aerobic threshold and anaerobic threshold percentage. What I mean by that is, and there's a couple of other videos that I encourage you to take a look at in the description down below. Ideally, getting to the point, let's say the aerobic threshold or anaerobic threshold run of a 15 to 20 minute or even 25 minute tempo run. Well, how do you build towards it? Let's just say 20 minutes, a sweet spot. I actually talk about how to build into a threshold or how to build into a tempo run, a couple of my other videos that are in the description down below. But I generally do that during the summer base season. So if we're building up towards, let's say 20 minutes, I break it up into 6 pieces, okay, over the course. And I do 2 times 6 minutes and then 12 minutes consecutive 2 weeks after that, okay. 2 times 8 minutes, then 16 minutes consecutive after that, 2 weeks. These are in 2-week increments. So it goes into the beginning of the season. Then 2 times 10 minutes, and then a 20-minute consecutive tempo run. And now you're up to the sweet spot of, particularly if you're training for 5K, you're up to the sweet spot of 20 minutes. If it's an aerobic threshold run, those are they generally build to 30 to 60 minutes. You build to that a little bit differently, but this is a way of kind of building into that. Into the aerobic threshold is just a little bit longer. You may go 20 minutes, then you may go 30 minutes, and you may go 40, then 50, then 60. That's at a slower pace. Essentially, it's a marathon pace. So, which could be a minute to 20 or a minute 30 seconds slower than what your actual mile time is. So that's not as aggressive as anaerobic threshold runs, but nevertheless, you're still building some of that up in the base phase, okay? Let's say it's 10 weeks. So now, the next 8 weeks, anaerobic introduction, okay? It's a transition phase. You're introducing some of the anaerobic work, okay? Whether it be hard VO2 max repeats, cruise intervals, whatever it is, how you do it, or transitioning, doing a little bit of both. But it also kind of preps you and gets you ready to start running a race or a couple of time trials to test your fitness, okay? Like I said, time trials and simulations or races, or a few races to test your fitness, okay? But it's a transition phase. So now you built your cake. Now we're putting in here, we're getting gradually harder. You can do a 6-week, breakdown. Take a look at some of my cross-country programs. I have it kind of laid out over a 12-week period. It's fully detailed, and you'll kind of see how I do blocks of this and blocks of that, and I transition over. Take a look at the marathon program too, and even the half marathon program. I have it all laid out, and you'll notice patterns every 4 to 6 weeks, okay? But if it's an 8-week period, you can break it down into 2 times 4 weeks and repeat the cycle, okay, for periodization so that your body can adapt, okay? But now we're at 18 weeks, okay? So the next 6 weeks up to weeks 24, 19 to 24, you're taking advantage of this peak fitness. You're doing your most difficult workouts, your most race-specific workouts. And again, reloading while staying sharp. What do I mean by reloading? Let's say in a race week, you can go back and reload by doing some cruise thousands, anaerobic threshold 1,000-meter efforts with a short recovery. It's a way of slowing down the workout to help you get faster on the back end. So, and again, it's non-invasive, so you can go back. If you're a middle distance runner, you can go and do 5 or 6 times 1,000 with a minute recovery race week instead of hard 400s or whatever it is, which you've done previous couple of weeks. So it's an opportunity to do that and kind of reload the system as well in a non-invasive way, okay? So that's week 24 now, okay? That's pretty much 6 months. The last 2 weeks, weeks 25 and 26, a 2-week period, you reevaluate your season. Obviously, you're taking downtime, off days. If it's from a marathon, you're taking 2 weeks completely off, in my opinion. No running at all, but the second week you can do a little bit of light cross training every other day. But if it's you're recovering from something shorter, even a week off and then some light running in the second week. But there's got to be rest and recovery along the way. Not only waiting for these 2 weeks, taking an off day, plugging an off day every so often or a cross training day. Train so it allows you to train and recover simultaneously. Okay. Again, this is where you reevaluate, see what works, see what didn't work. You tweak and you enhance what you need to enhance, and then you plan for the next season. Okay. And again, take advantage of relaxation. You relax. Kind of you'll get geared up again, and you'll start recharging. But this is an opportunity to get a full, relaxation. Okay, and it's important. That's just as important as the training. Okay, now let's take you over here. It's a similar format, but the weeks are a little bit different. Okay, instead of 10 weeks, we've gone 12 weeks. Okay, and let's say this is for a marathon, a little bit longer base phase. Okay, so again, the same thing. You're building mileage, you're doing your speed development component, and you're building up the aerobic threshold and anaerobic threshold component. Okay, gradually adding more towards the latter end. Let's say the second half of that 12 weeks, you start incorporating this. In the second half of the 10 weeks, you start incorporating it, okay? So that's for 12 weeks. Now for the next 6 weeks instead of 8, which still takes you to 18 weeks, the transition phase, okay? Time trials and simulations will test you and see your fitness. I always recommend a 1-mile time trial or even a 3K time trial to determine where your current fitness is so that you can set the right training paces for everything, okay? If you haven't seen those videos, by the way, look at them in the description. They're down there. Very, very detailed. Very, very important. You'll learn a lot from them. So watch them from beginning to end. And again, a few races to test your fitness. Or you run a time trial, like I said, the mile or 3K. Okay? Next 6 weeks. Now we're going back to a 6-week block. And then this could be broken down into 1 6-week block or 2 3-week blocks. However you like to do it. 2 repeatable 3-week blocks. But you're taking advantage of this peak fitness. Okay, and you're testing yourself and you're reloading, like I said before, with some threshold work and stuff like that while staying sharp, okay? And you'd be surprised at how good you would feel after a threshold workout. Cruise intervals on a race week, and let's say let's say you're racing Saturday, you do it on a Tuesday, okay? And then you throw a couple of fast 200s or 150s at the end of the workout, but you'll be surprised at how good you feel. Okay, and even if the race is long, it's 5 or 6 times an 800 the week of the marathon, also on a Tuesday or something like that if it's a Sunday race. You'll be surprised. Just keeps you in rhythm. Okay, and again, so you're at 6 weeks now, taking you to 24, and then weeks 25 and 26, you rest, you recover, you reevaluate. Okay, see what works, see what didn't work, what tweaks you need to make, and then what you want to focus on the following cycle. Now, you could repeat this twice. You could repeat that twice. It's completely up to you as to what you feel is most appropriate, but this is a great way of kind of laying it out. If you have now, and again, tweak and enhance, and then you relax. Obviously, take advantage of your downtime. Okay, and again, how do you want me to lay out the details of how you get from this to this and this and this? Look at some of my marathon training programs. Look at my cross-country training programs. They're detailed from beginning to end, weeks 1 through 12, weeks 1 through 16. Okay, by the day, by the week, you will see how I lay it out, and it's just this way. Okay, transitioning from threshold to incorporating some threshold and race pace where it gradually gets faster, and staying sharp and not making any drastic changes at any point in time. Okay, you won't see a drastic taper at any point. Okay, you'll see blocks of 3 or 4 weeks for periodization. Okay, so that the body can adapt. So that's what you'll notice in all my training videos. So take a look at them, and you'll notice. And if you have questions, put them in the comments down below. I'm happy to answer them. But I wanted to go through this and figured to kind of give you a breakdown of how I do it, how I think about it. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up, and be sure to hit the subscribe button before you leave. And if there's a video that I haven't done you want me to do, just let me know in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to get to work on it. All right, look out for each other. Be safe. Talk to you next time.